Hi! Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you had a very relaxing and happy Christmas vacation. So starting today, we're going to have our quarter 2. And for this week, we're going to have week 1. And the title of the topic is Expressing One Value as a Fraction of Another Given Their Ratio and Vice Versa. So ginamit dito yung term na vice versa. Ang ibig sabihin ng vice versa, kung may ibinigay na given, let's say 12 and 1, at sinabing vice versa, babaliktarin mo lang yon. Magiging 1 and 12 naman siya. Okay? Before we start, just like before, don't forget, before watching, comment, hashtag your full name, hashtag watching Math 6 Q2W1 Lesson 1. And after watching this tutorial video, don't forget to comment, hashtag your full name, hashtag I am ready Math 6 Q2W1 Lesson 1. So, our topic is all about ratio. Ratio is a way of comparing two or more quantities having the same units. Ito ay isang paraan ng pagkukumpara ng dalawa o higit pang bilang o number na may parehong unit. The quantities may be separate entities or they may be different parts of a whole. Ang mga bilang na ating ikukumpara gamit ang ratio ay maaari daw magkakaibang entities o bagay or sila daw ay iba't ibang bahagi ng isang buo. You can write the ratio of A and B in, tandaan ha, word form, column form, and fraction form. So, itong tatlong form na ito, ang paraan kung paano isinusulat ang ratio. And I will elaborate this later in the lesson, okay? So, let us focus on A and B. Kasi sila yung gagamitin natin sa ratio. Sila yung sample. The order of the terms. Yung terms na tinatawag, ang example niyan ay yung A at saka B. Ginamit lang dito ay letter, pero pwede rin itong number. Okay? So, itong A and B, pwede rin yung 1 and 2, 3 and 4, or whatever number we can have. Ang sabi dito, the order of the terms in a ratio must correspond to the order of objects being compared. Ibig sabihin, yung paraan ng pagkakasulat sa kanila o paraan ng pagbanggit ay dapat ayon sa order ng terms na nagko-correspond sa order ng objects. Let's say yung A ay nagre-represent ng apples at yung B ay nagre-represent ng oranges. Kapag sinulat mo siya, dahil ang A ay nagre-represent ng apples, apples ang dapat mauuna. At kasunod niya ang oranges because it is represented by B. Yun ang ibig sabihin nitong sentence na the order of the terms in a ratio must correspond to the order of objects being compared. And in the ratio, a part can be compared to its whole. Sa ratio daw, ang isang bahagi ay maaaring ikumpara sa kanyang kabuuan. Yun ang ibig sabihin noon. Okay, let us have an example para mas maintindihan nyo. Let us compare the number of circles to triangles and vice versa. Uulitin ko mga bata, itong dinidiscuss ko sa inyo ay examples lang ng makikita nyo sa inyong module. Hindi ibig sabihin na ito na mismo yung nasa module nyo. Pero as much as possible, I try to, related doon sa makikita nyo sa module, itong binibigay kong examples para kapag nagsagot kayo ay hindi na kayo mahihirapan. Pero hindi pwede na kung ano yung nasa module, yun din ang ibibigay kong examples. Okay? So, I'm just trying to tell you and teach you the skills in answering it. So, ikumpara daw natin yung circle sa triangles. So, tandaan, dahil inunang banggitin yung term na circles bago yung triangles. Kaya dito, nung idinrawing, naunang idrawing yung circles and then yung triangles. So, bilangin natin, ilan ba ang circles? So, ating at ilan naman ang triangles. Ating ibibigay ang ratio of circles to triangles at ratio of triangles to circles. Yan yung tinatawag na vice versa. Ang unang binigay ay ratio of circles to triangles. So, ano ang vice versa niya? Ang vice versa niya ay ratio of triangles to circles. So, what is the ratio of circles to triangles? Let us have this first. So, una nating ibibigay yung tinatawag na word form. Ito yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina. Ito ay isang paraan ng pagsusulat ng ratio. And that is through word form. Kapag sinabing word form, ibibigay mo yung number, yung mga numbers na involved at sa pagitan nila ay nandun yung words na is to. So, itong 12 at saka 6, ang tawag sa kanila ay terms. Okay? And then, bakit nauna yung 12? Kasi nga, inuna yung circles and then triangles. Yun daw ratio ng circles to triangles. Kaya, naunang isulat yung 12. Nasa pagitan nila yung words na is to and then 6. Paano naman sa word form ng vice versa nito? Triangles to circles. O magiging 6 is to 12. Okay, so tandaan, that is how to write ratio using word form. Now, let's go to colon form. So, kaya siya tinawag na colon form kasi ginagamitan siya ng colon. Ayan yon yung nasa gitna. Tutuldok sa Filipino, okay? So, ang basa pa rin dyan ay kagaya nito, is to. So, if you will read this, you will read it as 12 is to 6. Okay? That's how to read it. 12 is to 6. Now, how about sa colon form ng kanyang vice versa? So, that will be 6 is to 12. How about in fraction form? So, kung titingnan mo, fraction ang itsura niya. Pero kapag binasa mo siya, kapareho rin ng ginawa mong pagbasa sa word form at saka sa colon form. So, itong bar na ito na naghahati sa 12 at sa 6 ay binabasa pa rin ng is to. Remember that? So, ang basa dito ay 12 is to 6. So, the vice versa is, in fraction form, 6 is to 12. Okay, malinaw na? So, these are the 3 ways of writing ratios. Una, word form, ginagamitan ng is to. Colon form, ginagamitan ng colon na ang basa pa rin ay is to. And fraction form, fraction tingnan, pero kung basahin pa rin ay kagaya ng pagbasa sa word form at colon form. At tandaan din kapag sinabing vice versa, binabaligtad lang yung terms. Okay? If you compare the part of the total number of the shapes, ito yung sinabi ko kanina, na ang ratio daw ay pwedeng ikumpara ang isang bahagi sa kanyang kabuuan. If you compare the part to the total number of the shapes, the ratio of the part to the total has the same meaning as a fraction. So, kapag nagkumpara ka daw ng isang bahagi sa kabuuang bilang, ang ratio daw ng bahagi ng total ay kagaya rin ng parang fraction. Kasi, di ba, yung sa fraction, yun yung bahagi ng isang kabuuan. So, here's the example. Compare the total number of shapes to number of triangles. Ang shapes na binabanggit dito ay yung shapes na nakita nyo sa sample kanina. Okay? So, ang una nating gagawin is ratio of total shapes to triangles. And then, ratio of triangles to total shapes. So, this is the vice versa of this. Ito, inuna muna yung total shapes, then triangles. Dito, inuna naman yung triangles and then total shapes. So, sa word form, 18 is to 6. 18 is the total shapes. Pag inad mo yung circles at saka yung triangles, ang total niya is 18. And then, since it is being compared to the triangles, the ratio is 18 is to 6. And its vice versa in word form is 6 is to 18. Then in colon form, 18 is to 6. The colon form of its vice versa is 6:18. Then, the fraction form is 18:6. And the vice versa is 6:18. So, I hope natandaan na ninyo kung paano magsulat ng ratio using word form, colon form, and fraction form. Even if the ratio is in fraction form, you will still say 18:6. O, yun yung sinabi ko kanina, na kahit fraction form ang itsura niya, ang pagbasa sa kanya ay kagaya rin ng pagbasa ng ginawa sa word form at colon form because we are treating it as a ratio. Or 6:18 kapag vice versa niya. Ratio should also be in simplest form or lowest form like fraction. O yun naman ang kanyang magiging kapareho sa fraction. Kailangan nating ibigay ang kanyang simplest form or lowest form. And I know, alam na ninyo kung paano magbigay ng lowest form or simplest form dahil napag-aralan na natin yan sa fraction. Paano ngayon? That is by using greatest common factor. Here's the example. Compare the total number of shapes to number of triangles. So, total number of shapes ang mauuna, then number of triangles. So, this is 18, the total number of shapes, and this is 6, the number of triangles. So, kung mapapansin nyo, ang greatest common factor ng 18 and 6 is 6 because when you multiply 6 by 3, the answer is 18, and when you multiply 6 by 1, the answer is 6. So, since their greatest common factor is 6, you will just cancel them. Matitira syempre, or if you divide 18 by 6, the answer is 3. If you divide 6 by 6, the answer is 1. So, the simplest form or lowest form of 18:6 is 3:1. How about its vice versa, 6:18? Again, the greatest common factor is 6 because 6 times 1 is 6 and 6 times 3 is 18. So when you divide 6 by 6, the answer is 1. When you divide 18 by 6, the answer is 3. So the simplest form or lowest form is 1:3. Okay, so here's the simplest form, 3:1 or 1:3. So that's how to give the simplest form or lowest form of ratio by getting the greatest common factor. Example 3. Express the ratio of 3 25-centavo coins to 3 1-peso coin in column form. Kung matatandaan nyo sa umpisa ng ating lesson, sinabi ko na ang ratio ay nagpapakita ng comparison between same units. Paano kapag magkaiba yung unit nila? Kagaya nito, ang given ay 3 25-centavo coins at 3 1-peso coin. So, magkaiba yon. Iba yung value ng 25 centavos sa value ng 1 peso. Diba? So, anong gagawin kapag ganon? Which is really happening. Nangyayari talaga yon na we are comparing entities na magkaiba ang units. So, this is what we're going to do. I use visualization. Tingnan nyo, may 3 25 centavo coins. This is what we're going to compare. 3 25 centavo coins to 3 1 peso coins. So, anong dapat gawin kapag ganyan? Since the two quantities have different units, magkaiba ng units. Ito ay 25 centavos, ito ay 1 peso, di ba? You need to make their units the same. So, bago mo sila i-compare, kailangan mo muna silang pagparehohin o gawing pareho ang kanilang units. So, ang isasuggest ko sa inyo, kapag gawa kayo ng pagpapareho ng units, kung ano yung mas mababang units, yun ang inyong gawin. Meaning, yung may mas mataas na unit, kagaya nito, sa case na ito, ang may mas mataas na unit ay 1 peso coin, gawin mo siyang 25 centavo coins. Bakit? Mas madali kasi na i-convert sa mas mababang unit, yung mataas na unit, kaysa sa yung mababang unit ang i-compare mo sa mataas. Hindi ba mas mahirap mag-convert ng 25 centavos into 1 peso? Hindi naman po pwede, kulang, di ba? So, mas practical na i-convert mo yung 1 peso sa 25 centavos. Okay, nagets nyo? So, how many 25 centavos are there in 1 peso? There are 4. O, yung isa pang 1 peso, 4.25 centavos din. At yung isa pang 1 peso, 4.25 centavos. So, ilan na ngayon ang comparison? O what is the ratio now? The ratio now is 3.25 centavo coins to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12, 25 centavo coin. So, 3 is to 12. Diba? The ratio in column form is 3 is to 12. And in simplest form, it will become 1 is to 4. Bakit siya naging 1 is to 4? Ano greatest common factor ng 3 and 12? Correct, that is 3. So, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So, the final answer is 1 is to 4. Okay, let us now have example 4. It says, express the equivalent ratio of 2 is to 4. So, ang atin namang bibigyang pansin ngayon, yung term na equivalent ratio. Okay, so, let us look at the example. I have here 2 is to 4. And then, kung mapansin nyo, i-multiply yung 2 and 4 sa 2. So, the answer now is 4 is to 8. And then, 2 and 4 are multiplied by 3. And the answer is 6 is to 12. And then, 2 and 4 are multiplied by 4. The answer is 8 is to 16. And 2 and 4 are multiplied by 5. And the answer is 10 is to 20. So, anong napansin nyo sa pattern? Tama. Parang ibinibigay lang yung kanyang multiples, ano? Pansinin nyo. Our given is 2 is to 4. And then the next ratio becomes 4 is to 8, 6 is to 12, 8 is to 16, and 10 is to 20. How did that happen? Na hindi na kailangang, although ito, minultiply sa consecutive numbers. Ang ibig sabihin ng consecutive numbers, inumpisahan sa 2, sumunod ay 3, sumunod ay 4, sumunod ay 5. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng consecutive numbers na ginamit as their multipliers. Pwede naman yon. Pero pwede rin na sa isip mo lang yun gawin by just giving the multiples. So, let's begin with 2 is to 4. Ano ba ang multiples ng 2? That is 4, 6, 8, 10, so forth and so on. And then what are the multiples of 4? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So nakita ninyo? O, dalawang paraan ang pwede nyong gawin. I-multiply sa consecutive numbers para makuha yung kanyang equivalent ratios o kaya ibigay lang ang kanyang multiples. So, the possible equivalent ratios of 2 is to 4 in word form or 2 is to 4 in column form are 4 is to 8, 6 is to 12, 8 is to 16, or 10 is to 20. So, itong nakita nyo sa taas, they are in fraction forms. So, pwede rin naman na isulat sila in column forms. Okay? So, those are the equivalent ratios, ha? There are instances that the terms of ratio do not have the same units or classifications. This is a special ratio called rate. For example, kilometer to an hour. Hindi naman talaga nangyayari na laging pareho ang units nila or classification, hindi ba? At hindi pwede na i-convert yung mga units na magkaiba. So, sa ganong instance, ang tawag doon sa ratio ay rate at ito ay special ratio. Ang example ay kilometer to an hour. Magkaiba kasi yung kilometer at saka hour. So, hindi talaga pwedeng ma-convert. So, kapag ganyan, special ratio ang tawag sa kanya at ang term na ginagamit ay rate. So, let's have an example. Rom scored 180 points in 5 basketball games. Find the average rate per game. So, kapag sinabing average rate, ito yon, yung special ratio na ating pinag-uusapan. Okay? Rate per game ang hahanapin. Anong score niya? 180 points sa 5 basketball game. So, ano daw ang average rate niya sa bawat laro? O ano yung average points na nagagawa niya sa bawat laro na ginagawa niya? Okay, so how are we going to do that? Rate equals 180 points, yun yung kanyang score, is to 5 games. O, yun yung bilang ng games na nalaro niya. So, anong gagawin natin dyan? Kagaya ng ginawa natin sa iba, we will just give it simplest form. Saan pwedeng i-divide ang 180 at 5? Sa 5. So, 180 divided by 5 is 36 and 5 divided by 5 is 1. So, 36 points is to 1 game. And we are getting the average rate per game, kaya ang sagot ay 36 points per game. So, nilagyan natin ng term na per kasi yun yung hinahanap. Ano? Yung average rate niya ay 36 points per game. That is how to show the rate kapag ang given ay ganito kung saan they do not have the same units or classifications. Okay, let's go now to the examples of learning task. For learning task 1, it says here, write the ratio of the following in 3 ways. So, there are, how many? 8 moons is to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 stars. So, how are we going to do that? 8 is to 10, di ba? That is the ratio. Pero, we are going to show them in lowest term. Kasi yun ang pinag-aralan natin. So, yun ang kasunduan natin, ha? Always show your answer in lowest term. So, what's the lowest term of 8 is to 10? That is 4 is to 5. Bakit naging 4 at 5? 8 divided by 2 is 4 and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Uulitin ko, your answer must always be shown in lowest term. So, 3 ways ang hinihingi. So, ibibigay nyo yung kanyang fraction form, column form, at saka word form. So, the fraction form is this, 4 is to 5, column form is 4 is to 5, and word form is 4 is to 5. So, ano munang gagawin? Show the lowest term muna bago nyo isulat in fraction form, column form, and word form. Kung wala naman siyang lowest term, o edi as is ang inyong isusulat. Kung ano yung nakita nyong unang ratio niya, yun ang isusulat nyo in 3 ways. Ang paglo-lowest term naman ay kung possible, kung pwede siyang bigyan ng lowest term. Okay? Let's go to learning task 2. It says here, write the ratio of the following in 3 ways. So, kung mapapansin nyo, 4 weeks to 8 days. Magkaiba ng kanilang entities, ano? Ito ay weeks, ito ay days. So, paano gagawin kapag ganyan? Kailangan i-convert nyo muna. At kagaya ng sabi ko, kung ano yung may mas lower unit o yung may mas mababang unit, yun ang inyong ipapakita. So, sino ba sa dalawang ito o alin ba sa dalawang ito ang may mas mababang unit? Is it weeks or days? Yes, yun ay days. So, yung weeks, i-convert mo sa days para maging pareho sila. Tandaan, ang ratio ay laging equal or same, same units, hindi equal, same units. Kaya dapat i-convert yung weeks sa days. So, paano gagawin yon? I-convert natin yung 4 weeks to days. So, ang 1 week ay equivalent to 7 days. So, imumultiply natin yung 4 sa 7 and that will be 28. So, 4 weeks is equivalent to 28 is to 8 days. So, anong lowest term ng 28 is to 8? That is 7 is to 2 because 28 divided by 4 is 7 and 8 divided by 4 is 2. So, isusulat na natin ngayon yung 7 is to 2 in 3 ways. Fraction form, column form, and word form. How about number 2? 20 decimeters to 20 centimeters. So, magkaiba na naman. Alin sa dalawa ang may mas mababang unit? Tama, that is centimeters. So, yung decimeters ay i-convert mo to centimeters. 1 decimeter is equivalent to 10 centimeters. Kaya yung 20 ay imumultiply natin sa 10 and that will be 200. So 20 decimeters to 20 centimeters equals 200 is to 20. And the lowest term is 10 is to 1. Bakit? I-divide yung 200 at 20 sa 20. Kaya naging 10 is to 1. By the way, bakit ba sa mas mababang unit dapat i-convert? Bakit hindi i-convert yung centimeters sa decimeters para magpareho sila? Mas mahirap kasing mag-convert ng mababang unit papunta sa mataas kasi magdi-divide ka. O gusto nyo bang mag-divide? Diba? Mas madaling mag-multiply kaysa sa mag-divide. Kasi when you convert bigger unit to smaller unit like these two examples, mas madali kasi magmumultiply ka lang. So that's the reason kung bakit sinasuggest ko sa inyo na convert the bigger unit to smaller unit para maging pareho ang units ng ratio. Okay? So balik na tayo dito. Ang lowest term ay 10 is to 1. So that is the fraction form, column form, and word form. And for number 3, 40 seconds to 8 minutes. As usual, magkaiba sila. Ito ay seconds, ito ay minutes. Alin ang dapat i-convert? Tama, i-convert natin yung minutes into seconds. So, 1 minute equals 60 seconds. So, we will convert 8 minutes to seconds. So, we will multiply 8 by 60. The answer is 480. So, 40 seconds to 8 minutes is equivalent to 40 is to 480. The lowest term is 1 is to 12 because we divided 40 and 480 by 40. So, ang lowest term ay 1 is to 12. Yan ang kanyang fraction form, column form, and word form. So, malinaw na ang gagawin kapag ang ratio ay mayroong magkaibang entities, ha? Always convert to the smaller unit. Learning task 3. Write at least 3 equivalent ratios of the given ratios. So, madali na to, ha? Paano nga ang pagbibigay ng equivalent ratios? Dalawang paraan. Pwedeng ibigay using their multiples o pwede namang i-multiply sa consecutive numbers as their multiplier. Ano? Okay, so the given is 6 is to 12. Ano ang multiple? So, ano ang magiging equivalent ratios niyan? Bakit naging 12 is to 24? Diba? Pag nag-multiple tayo, anong sunod sa 6? 12. At ano namang sunod sa 12? 24. So, ngayon, ano namang sunod sa 12 at 24? Babalik ka lang doon. Multiples nga ng 6, diba? So, 6, 12, 18. Tama. So, 12, 24, 36. And then, what's next? 6, 12, 18. The next is 24. Then, 12, 24, 36. That is 48. Okay? So, itong mga ratios na ito, all of these are equivalent ratios of 6 is to 12. Let's have another. So, what's next? 3 is to 4. Next is 6 is to 8. Then, what's next? Tama, 9 is to 12. And the next is 12 is to 16. Sige nga, let us check. 3, 6, 9, 12. 4, 8, 12, 16. That's correct. O how about 2 is to 5? The next is 4 is to 10. Followed by 6 is to 15. And the next is 8 is to 20. So let us check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 5, 10, 15, 20. So that is how to give equivalent ratios. Napakadali, hindi ba? Then, for learning task 4, write the following fractions in word and column form. So, wag malito sa direction, ha. Dapat sunding mabuti kung ano yung hinihingi. Ang hinihingi ay word and column forms. So, 1 is to 5, kaya ang given ay fraction kasi ibibigay mo yung word and column forms. So, that is the word form and that is the column form. Sundin yung nakalagay sa direction. Inuna yung word kasi nauna dito yung word. Then, kasunod ay colon, kaya ito yung colon. Then, 10 is to 15, that's the word form. This is the colon form. And then, 7 is to 8, this is the colon form. Okay? So, that's how to write fractions in word and colon forms. Napakadali, kayang-kayang gawin. And that's it for this week. Ang dali lang ng topic, di ba? I hope you learned a lot about expressing one value as a fraction of another given their ratio and vice versa. At dahil tapos na ang panonood nyo, don't forget to comment hashtag your full name, hashtag I am ready, Math6Q2W1 Lesson 1. I am sure you are ready now to answer your modules and activity sheets, and I hope na naintindihan yung mabuti at alam na ninyo ang inyong gagawin. So have a nice week ahead. Don't forget, always keep safe and stay at home. God bless and see you next week for another tutorial video. Bye! God bless you!